everyone. Welcome to InfoSec World 2024. Woo! Now, has everybody had enough coffee? No? Yeah, it's a little early. I don't think I've had enough coffee. And actually, I've had too much, which is, yeah. So I'm going to be very excited here at 8:30 in the morning. So bear with me. I'm very excited to see the great Amy effing Bojack, who is following me right after this with the incomparable Todd Fitzgerald. But today, I am speaking about being audacious. It's kind of a big topic for 8:15 in the morning. I know this, but let's hang on and we'll get there together. So, the title is The Audaciousness Factor: 5 Steps to Ignite Your Cybersecurity Success. But in all honesty, the real title is How to Be Audacious and Succeed in Cybersecurity Without Getting Fired. So that is our topic for today, but I couldn't put it on the slide. So I'm going to tell you a story. And on the left here is my grandpa, Jack Rose, and my grandma. And this me in the middle, this was taken about 25 years ago. So as a kid, I was never allowed to ride in my grandpa's car. And the reason why I wanted to ride in my grandpa Jack Rose's car was the exact reason as to why my parents would not allow me to ride in my grandpa Jack's car. And that is because he drove like this. He would literally stare at you while he was talking, and he was very long-winded. So you can imagine the trail of destruction and chaos that was behind him in these narrow streets in England. But the most incredible thing of all was that he never once in 70 years got a ticket or ever was in an accident, though you can imagine what was happening to everybody else around him. Though it was like he had this magical protective bubble around him, which is very ironic to those who knew his background, because he came from Poland, and in 1938, out of a family of 5 children, he was the only one they could afford to send over to England to safety on one of the last boats to escape from the Nazis. And so he went off on the boat at age 17, away from his family. The rest of his family and my family was murdered. But he landed in England, and his last name at the time was Rosenbaum. But as he could not speak English, the customs agent, or the agent at the British Navy, could not understand what he was saying, so he shortened it to Rose, which is my name today, and my grandfather couldn't explain, because he didn't know any English, on how to spell it. So therefore, my last name is Rose today. But he found incredible success in England. He was one of the forefathers, co-founders of robotics in England, was invited to the Queen's Buckingham Palace garden parties twice, and there's more on that later, so stick around, it's an amusing story. But why am I telling you all this? Why am I telling you about my grandpa Jack Rose? You've never met the guy, right? Why am I telling you all this? Because absolutely nothing in his pocket, and with tragedy, such a personal tragedy, he turned himself into a wild success. And I'm telling you, this man did not do it by following the rules, but he actually broke them. And he became, again, what they considered to be the robotics forefather in England, editing 7 journals up until he passed away. But he became successful not by following the rules, but by breaking them, because he had no fear. He completely and utterly lacked self-confidence. He was stubborn. He was loud, and boy, was he contrary. And most of all, he was audacious. So what is audacious? Well, if you know Yiddish, there's a beautiful term, chutzpah. He's got a lot of chutzpah. But Merriam-Webster uses these synonyms for audacious. So intrepidly daring, adventurous, recklessly bold, rash, contemptuous of law, religious, or decorum, insolent. Now, side note, to those of you in the room, my grandpa Jack Rose was probably that, but I don't recommend that for your cybersecurity career. So ignore that one, okay? And marked by originality and verve. And for fun, you can make it into an adverb, audaciously, and a noun, audaciousness. And you could say the apple did not fall far from the tree. In 22 years I've been in information security, I realize that all of my big wins, all of the greatest successes have been because of my being audacious, just like Grandpa Jack Rose was. And I think cybersecurity is one of the very few fields, industries in the world where you have to be audacious to be in cybersecurity. Because cybersecurity is quickly changing and it's innovative, and our adversaries, do they not have a lot of nerve and contemptuousness? That's a big word for 8:15 in the morning, but there you go. We need to be audacious to get ahead of them. But I hear all of you today thinking to yourselves, but Olivia, wait. How do I be audacious in my cybersecurity career without being put on a performance improvement plan, affectionately known as a PIP, or worse yet, getting fired? All right, good question, good thinking, good question. I have 5 steps on how to do this without getting put on a PIP or getting fired. And they are not the typical recommendations you are ever going to see on LinkedIn or read about in books or anything like that. Are you ready to get audacious? Yeah! Fabulous. All right. Step 1, be completely self-unaware. But wait, Olivia, I know. Everything tells you to have all this self-awareness, and you need to know what others think about you all the time, because how else are you going to get promoted? You need to know what everybody else is thinking about you, right? All the time. We have too much self-awareness going on right now. We are far too fixated on what everybody else thinks about us. We ask for permission first, and then we ask for forgiveness first, before even doing the thing. We scrutinize what others think about us on LinkedIn, online, on social media. We become crazed by it. And what does all this self-awareness manifest itself as? Anybody want to take a wild guess? What was that? Anxiety. But what does anxiety manifest itself as? Somebody said it over here. Impostor syndrome. Good old impostor syndrome. That's what happens. And everybody gets impostor syndrome. Every single person in this room, including myself, gets impostor syndrome. The only reason you think some people don't have imposter syndrome is because they've figured out strategies to overcome it. That's the only reason. So I'm going to give you 3 quick ones right here that work really, really, really well. First, nobody is looking at you. No, trust me, when you're in a meeting and you think everybody's looking at you and thinking something about you, nobody is looking at you and thinking something about you. Because they're human beings. We're human beings. We're too far concerned and wrapped up in ourselves about what everybody else is thinking about us. Nobody is looking at you. Start going into meetings with that mindset. 2, you are not the dumbest person in the room. Even though you might feel like it, you're not. You're at least, maybe you're the least knowledgeable, okay, but nobody is terrible, nobody's great at everything. I mean, right? Even though I like to tell my kids I am, but I'm not, in reality. There's my imposter syndrome going. So, find out what those things are that you're really, really, really good at and double down on them. Become really good and known for those things you are good at. And then finally, who's heard of Sasha Fierce? Yes, who is Sasha Fierce? Beyonce's alter ego. Create your alter ego. Sasha Fierce was created by Beyonce many, many years ago. I think she retired her. Because Sasha Fierce is that person who comes out, the Beyonce strut, and the hair is blowing, and there's all these fans going, and she starts to sing, and it's like this amazing being on stage. That's her Sasha Fierce alter ego. So create your own that you can breathe in. And mine is called the Olivia. I have had the Olivia for years, way over 15 years. I'm using her right now. This is the Olivia. Because, 2 minutes before I came out, I was pacing backstage going, oh my God, they're gonna hate me, right? This is the Olivia. I breathed her in. I speak deeper, I speak more slowly, I'm more confident, I stand taller. I still use my hands a lot. Can't help that. But you're a lot more confident, you're smarter, you're more daring. Create this alter ego like Tony Stark and Iron Man. You can breathe it in, and it's you. It's only a better version of you. Now, I'm not advising you to go all rogue and be a complete numbskull and completely unaware and clueless about what's going on around you. I'm not recommending that, but reducing what you feel and think other people are feeling about you, I guarantee you will reduce the occurrences of imposter syndrome for you. Step number 2, be stubborn. Oh, I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn as the day is long. I started in information security about 22 years ago, and I was one of the very, very, very few women in cybersecurity. And the running joke at events, when you went to events, was there are more guys named Steve than there are women in the room. And this has gotten significantly better the last few years. But, let's take a poll. Who here is called Steve? All right. 1? Oh, God, 3? 3 people. Okay. Well, hi, Steves. How about Steven? Does that make a difference to anybody? Okay, no. Now, how many women are in the room or who identify as women? Whoa. Whoa, thank you, applaud. That never would have happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And so women who have been around for a long time, and Amy, who's about to come on stage, is one of them as well, we've been told multiple times, believe me, to our faces, behind our backs, every which way, you will never succeed in cybersecurity. Believe me. So when you keep hearing this, it starts to populate your opinion about yourself, and you start to wonder, do I actually belong in cybersecurity? To which I'm going to say, of course you belong in cybersecurity. Everybody belongs in cybersecurity. If you truly love this industry and want to be here, don't let anybody else take that away from you. So whenever you hear feedback from someone or criticism, evaluate the source. Do you respect this person? Is this truly something you need to work on and fix? And if it is, go do it, right? However, if somebody is talking to you and is demoting you and degrading you and just wants to bring you down, I have 2 words that you need to say to them. Watch me. Watch me. I can't tell you how many times I have said that to people in my career in information security. Watch me, and then go do it. And I can tell you there is nothing sweeter, there is nothing more enjoyable than to see those people watching you go do whatever the thing it is. Be stubborn about your career in cybersecurity. If you love it, stay in it until you are ready to go. Because no one is going to push you out of cybersecurity unless you want to go. Nobody else owns your success. Step 3, be loud. Obviously, I'm very loud. So I apologize to the AV folks over there, because I'm sure they're like going up and down with the volume right now. But I'm not a social media kind of person. I am Generation X to the T, through and through. I don't have Instagram. I can't figure out, Snap or Snapchat, whatever it's called. I cannot figure out X or Twitter. Cannot figure it out. I have ADHD, and Twitter literally makes me so stressed out, I start to sweat. I mean, I can't even, so, but I'm on LinkedIn because I have to be. I have to feed my kids somehow, right? I have to make a living. So I post stuff on LinkedIn all the time. You may have seen it. Sometimes I'm a little obnoxious with stuff I post, but I like to say what I'm thinking and what I think everybody else is thinking and what they should know. So going back to Grandpa Jack Rose, when he was in shooting practice in his early days in the British Navy, he overheard a bully bullying another person, soldier, to which he turned, he shot at the target, hit it dead on in the middle, and then he turned to the bully and said, if you don't stop bullying that fellow, the next one is for you. There comes a time where you have to start standing up for something. Now, I don't recommend going all Grandpa Jack Rose and, waving a gun at everybody, right? But you've got to stand for something, or else you fall for everything. And if you are in cybersecurity, as you all are, you know why you're here. You're here to protect people, your companies, your families, your country. It's critically important to stand up for what you believe in. So how do you stand up for something so vehemently and without getting fired? Okay, good question. Somebody was thinking it. The way I do it is I have a line. This is a personal line. I work for myself now, so it's what I think my business will tolerate, that line. If you work for a company, it's what your business, your company will tolerate as the line, or your community, or whatever religious area, community you belong to, or your family. Figure out what that line is, and then kind of creep up to it and poke at it. And do that test before you post. And I do that every single time, because I have a line that I don't cross. I have crossed it once, and I quickly deleted the LinkedIn post right after that, because I realized I'm not comfortable with that, crossing the line. Figure out where your line is, and then don't cross it. And then you will feel free to be known for something, to stand for something, be loud about something that matters. Step number 4, be contrary. Oh, I love being contrary. I love it. I absolutely love being contrary. So the way to be contrary and get away with it is to have a lot of ideas. Have a lot of really, really good ones. Have a lot of not so good ones. Have a lot of that you will never speak of again. You'll just kind of tear them up and rip them away, throw them away, because ideas enable the conversation. They enable you to speak up and make change and disagree with the majority. You can disagree with everyone else because you have ideas that are probably better. Having your own ideas gives you power and strength to be in control of your own future. Now, where do you get ideas? People get their ideas differently. Some people read business books and get ideas. And I can tell you, I can't remember the last business book I read. I think it was How to Win Friends and Influence People, and that was years ago when I was a teenager. I mean, it was I don't read business books. I find them incredibly dull. Plus, my ADHD doesn't let me finish it anyway. So, other ways of doing it, the way I get ideas, is I observe people. I look at how they react, how they talk, how they interrelate with each other. You can talk to people, get ideas from the vendors right here, from the speakers. While you're here, get great ideas from the speakers at InfoSec World. I mean, what a golden opportunity to create your own ideas, bounce them off of other people. But the guaranteed way not to get original ideas is to be face down in your phone, like this, all the time. Even walking through the hallway, face down. Even right now, as I'm speaking, being face down. Thank you, I was looking right at you. Being face down on your phone. You're not going to get creative, original ideas from TikTok. You're not. Those are other people's ideas. They're not yours. Go create your own ideas. Get a lot of ideas. Get fresh ones, tons of them. Write them down so you don't forget them. And then you can offer up something that's potentially better, potentially better than what's on the table. You can make change happen. And you can be contrary. And finally, be all these things. Be audacious. I almost said completely lack self-awareness. Do not completely lack self-awareness. Just lack self-awareness, up to a point. Lack self-awareness. Be stubborn. Be loud. Be contrary. Be audacious. Be all those things that we saw from Merriam-Webster: adventurous, bold, original, daring. And I'm going to end here with the story about Grandpa Jack Rose meeting the Queen of England for the second time at one of her garden parties, as evidently the first time did not go so well when they met, and the second time he was invited to be honored for his contributions to education in England for robotics. She shook his hand and looked straight at him and said, "You again." To which, of course, Grandpa Jack Rose, of course, looked her dead in the face and returned with, "You again." That was the last time he ever received an invitation to the garden parties at Buckingham Palace, which he was very upset about it, but oh well. He had placed himself solidly on the Queen of England's beep list. So here is to Grandpa Jack Rose. May you still be enjoying causing chaos and ruckus wherever you are. And to all of you, to go out there, be great, be audacious. Thank you.